Hi friends, today we are going to discuss an important topic of human life. Every person in this world is related to someone or the other. Let's talk about family. Our family members sometimes quarrel, dispute due to various reasons, which leads to tension in the relationship. Also, relationships with loved ones tend to break up due to various reasons. Today we are presenting you with an easy solution to get back from such a toxic relationship. Keep watching the full video. Hope you like it. Relationships are essential to human life. They bring joy, companionship, and purpose. But what happens when a relationship becomes toxic? A manipulative friend, a critical partner, or a toxic family member can create emotional turmoil. Toxic relationships often challenge our self-worth and leave us feeling trapped. But Stoicism, a practical philosophy from ancient Greece and Rome, offers a roadmap for not just surviving these challenges, but thriving in them. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus taught that life's hardships, including difficult people, are opportunities for growth. Their wisdom equips us with tools to stay calm, set boundaries, and use adversity to our advantage. This video will explore 15 Stoic strategies for handling toxic relationships. Watch till the end for a powerful conclusion, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay updated with transformative content. Number 1. Control what you can, let go of what you can't. In any toxic relationship, it's tempting to try and change the other person. A critical partner or an overly demanding boss might make you think, if only they acted differently, things would be better. But Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In toxic relationships, the other person's behavior is an external event, outside your control. Your response, however, is entirely within your control. For example, let's say a colleague constantly criticizes your work in front of others. Instead of reacting angrily or trying to change their behavior, you can focus on improving your performance and documenting your achievements. You might also choose to calmly address the issue in private, ensuring your actions are aligned with your values rather than their negativity. This principle doesn't mean tolerating mistreatment. Instead, it helps you conserve energy for actions within your power. It's liberating to realize that while you can't control someone's toxic behavior, you can control how much you let it affect you. Number 2, practice emotional detachment. Toxic individuals thrive on emotional reactions. Whether it's guilt-tripping, passive aggression, or outright hostility, their actions are often designed to provoke a response. Here, emotional detachment becomes crucial. Seneca wisely noted, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This speaks to the way we amplify our suffering by replaying toxic interactions in our minds. A partner's harsh words or a friend's manipulative behavior may linger in our thoughts long after the event, causing us unnecessary pain. To practice detachment, imagine the toxic person's actions as waves crashing against a sturdy rock. Their behavior might create noise and movement, but it doesn't erode your core. You can also use mindfulness techniques such as taking deep breaths or mentally labeling your emotions during a heated moment to stay grounded. Emotional detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means refusing to let someone else dictate your inner peace. By mastering this, you rob toxic individuals of their power over you. Number 3, set boundaries without guilt. Boundaries are a form of self-respect. Yet toxic individuals often make us feel guilty for asserting them. They might say things like, "Well, why are you being so sensitive?" Or, "Don't you care about me?" But setting boundaries is not about rejecting others. It's about protecting your emotional health. Seneca taught, "No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have." This philosophy can be applied to boundaries. You may not be able to stop someone from being toxic, but you can control the access they have to your emotions and energy. For instance, if a family member frequently criticizes your choices, you could say, "I value our relationship, but I don't want to discuss this topic anymore." Be firm but polite, and remember that their reaction is not your responsibility. The guilt you might feel initially is temporary, but the peace you gain is long-lasting. Number 4, turn challenges into opportunities for growth. Stoicism sees every difficulty as a teacher. Marcus Aurelius wrote, The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Toxic relationships are no exception. They reveal your strengths and teach you resilience. Consider someone with a micromanaging boss. While this may feel suffocating, it's also an opportunity to improve communication skills or learn how to set boundaries in a professional setting. Reflecting on these experiences helps you reframe them as stepping stones rather than obstacles. Growth doesn't come from comfort. Toxic relationships push you out of your emotional comfort zone, forcing you to cultivate patience, self-awareness, and courage. Number 5. Avoid over-personalizing toxic behavior. It's easy to internalize toxic behavior. You might think, what did I do to deserve this? But Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth. This quote emphasizes separating genuine feedback from toxic projections. Toxic people's actions often reflect their insecurities, fears, or unresolved trauma. For example, a friend who constantly interrupts you might feel unheard in their own life. By understanding that their behavior is not about you, you can avoid taking it personally and maintain your emotional equilibrium. Number 6. Embrace the power of silence. In toxic relationships, silence can be one of your most powerful tools. Stoics believe that speech should be purposeful, and reacting impulsively to provocation often leads to more harm than good. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, famously said, "Better to trip with the feet than the tongue." Imagine you're in an argument with someone who always twists your words to create drama. In such cases, responding in anger or frustration often gives them the ammunition they seek. Instead, choose silence. It denies them the reaction they crave while giving you space to maintain your composure. Practicing silence doesn't mean avoiding confrontation altogether. It means responding only when it's constructive. For example, if a coworker publicly criticizes you, instead of reacting emotionally, you could calmly address their concerns in private. This approach ensures that your response reflects wisdom, not impulsiveness. Silence also allows for self-reflection. Before responding, ask yourself, will my words add value to this situation? If the answer is no, hold back. Over time, this practice not only reduces unnecessary conflicts, but also earns you respect as someone who is thoughtful and composed. Number 7, practice gratitude for what you can learn. Gratitude might seem like an odd concept in the context of toxic relationships, but it's one of the most transformative Stoic practices. Seneca said, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." This principle encourages us to find value even in adversity. For example, a toxic relationship might teach you the importance of self-worth or the necessity of setting boundaries. Perhaps a manipulative friend showed you the value of authenticity, or a harsh boss forced you to develop resilience and problem-solving skills. By focusing on these lessons, you shift your perspective from victimhood to empowerment. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior. It's about recognizing the growth opportunities hidden within challenges. Journaling can be an effective tool here. Write down one thing you've learned or gained from a difficult relationship. Over time, you'll notice how even the most toxic experiences have contributed to your personal development. Gratitude also helps you focus on the positives in your life, balancing out the negativity from toxic individuals. By actively seeking what's good, you reinforce a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Number 8, surround yourself with positive influences. While Stoicism teaches us to endure adversity, it also emphasizes the importance of surrounding ourselves with uplifting influences. Seneca wisely advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Toxic relationships can drain your emotional energy, so it's essential to balance this by connecting with people who inspire and support you. Think of it like tending a garden. If a toxic person is like a weed, positive relationships are the flowers that bring beauty and joy to your life. For instance, if a family member constantly brings negativity, make a conscious effort to spend more time with friends who uplift you. Join communities, whether online or in person, that align with your values. These relationships act as a buffer, reminding you of your worth when toxic individuals try to bring you down. While you may not always escape toxic individuals, you can limit their impact by surrounding yourself with positivity. Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely. Number 9, accept impermanence. Stoicism teaches that everything in life is temporary, our relationships, struggles, and even our existence. Marcus Aurelius reflected, "Does what's happened keep you from acting with justice, generosity, self-control, sanity, prudence, honesty, humility, straightforwardness?" Accepting impermanence helps us detach from toxic relationships and focus on what truly matters. For example, a friendship might feel irreplaceable despite its toxicity. But when you remind yourself that no relationship lasts forever, it becomes easier to let go of those that no longer serve you. This detachment isn't about indifference. It's about accepting life's natural flow and choosing what aligns with your values. Accepting impermanence also helps you navigate conflicts. When faced with toxic behavior, remind yourself, this too shall pass. Whether it's an argument or a difficult phase in a relationship, nothing lasts forever. This mindset brings peace and reduces the emotional weight of temporary challenges. Number 10, forgive, not for them, but for yourself. Forgiveness is one of the hardest yet most liberating practices in Stoicism. It's not about excusing toxic behavior, but freeing yourself from the burden of resentment. Seneca wrote, "To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden." Resentment ties you to the toxic person, keeping their influence alive in your thoughts. Forgiveness breaks this chain, allowing you to move forward. For example, if a former friend betrayed your trust, holding on to anger only prolongs your suffering. Forgiving them doesn't mean reconciling. It simply means letting go of the emotional weight they hold over you. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It restores your inner peace and reinforces your emotional independence. To practice this, try reflecting on the situation from a broader perspective. What insecurities or struggles might have driven the toxic person's actions? This doesn't justify their behavior, but it can help you empathize and release your anger. Number 11, reframe toxicity as a test of virtue. Stoicism teaches us to see every challenge as an opportunity to practice virtue. Toxic relationships, though painful, serve as an arena to cultivate patience, courage, and self-control. Epictetus said, "Difficulties are things that show a person what they are." Imagine you're dealing with a critical parent who undermines your achievements. Instead of reacting defensively, view their criticism as an opportunity to practice emotional resilience. Ask yourself, how can I respond with dignity and grace in this situation? By shifting your perspective, you transform their negativity into a test of your inner strength. Reframing toxicity doesn't mean ignoring harmful behavior. It means using it to develop your character. Every insult becomes a chance to practice forgiveness, every manipulation a chance to assert your boundaries. This mindset not only empowers you, but also shifts the dynamic of the relationship. Toxic individuals thrive on controlling your emotions, but when you view their behavior as a test rather than a threat, you take back that power. Number 12, use visualization to prepare for encounters. Visualization is a powerful Stoic practice that helps you prepare for life's challenges, including interactions with toxic individuals. Marcus Aurelius advised, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot tell good from evil." Before facing a toxic person, visualize the potential scenarios and how you'll respond. For instance, if you anticipate your boss making passive-aggressive comments, picture yourself staying calm, acknowledging their words without internalizing them, and redirecting the conversation to a constructive topic. Visualization helps you build emotional resilience by preparing your mind for the worst while ensuring your response aligns with your values. This practice creates a mental buffer, making you less reactive and more composed during challenging interactions. You can also use visualization for positive reinforcement. Imagine yourself walking away from a toxic situation with dignity and self-respect intact. Over time, this mental preparation strengthens your ability to handle toxicity with grace. Number 13, recognize the role of expectations. Toxic relationships often hurt because they defy our expectations. We expect a friend to be supportive, a partner to be kind, or a family member to be loving. When they act otherwise, we feel betrayed. The Stoics remind us to examine and adjust our expectations. Epictetus said, "When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger." Ask yourself, are my expectations realistic? For example, if you have a friend who has repeatedly let you down, expecting them to suddenly change will only lead to frustration. Instead, accept their limitations while deciding how much access they should have to your life. This doesn't mean settling for less or tolerating mistreatment. It means seeing people as they are, not as you wish them to be. By adjusting your expectations, you free yourself from the cycle of disappointment and create space for healthier relationships. Number 14, keep your focus on long-term goals. Toxic relationships can be all-consuming, draining your energy and distracting you from your goals. Stoicism teaches us to maintain a broader perspective. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You must keep your mind on the task at hand, whether it is in the field of reason or something else, and calmly and clearly trust yourself to do what is right." When dealing with a toxic person, remind yourself of your long-term goals. Are they worth the emotional energy you're spending on this conflict? For instance, if a toxic colleague is creating drama at work, focus on your career development and professional growth instead of engaging in petty disputes. You can also set specific goals for managing the relationship. For example, your goal might be to limit interactions or communicate only when necessary. Keeping your focus on what truly matters helps you rise above the toxicity and remain aligned with your values. Number 15, learn when to walk away. Finally, one of the most important Stoic strategies is knowing when to let go. While Stoicism encourages resilience, it also recognizes the value of walking away from situations that no longer serve your well-being. Epictetus said, "If a person gave your body to any stranger he met on his way, you would certainly be angry. And do you feel no shame in handing over your own mind to be confused and mystified by anyone who happens to verbally attack you?" Letting go doesn't mean failure. It's a courageous act of self-preservation. For instance, if a partner constantly undermines your self-esteem, despite your efforts to communicate and set boundaries, it might be time to step away. Walking away is not an act of hate or bitterness, but one of self-respect. It's about valuing your mental and emotional health enough to remove yourself from a harmful environment. The decision to leave can be difficult, but it often opens the door to healthier relationships and personal growth. Toxic relationships challenge us in ways that test our patience, resilience, and values. But as the Stoics teach, these challenges are opportunities for growth. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." By focusing on what you can control, practicing emotional detachment, and setting boundaries, you not only protect yourself, but also transform adversity into strength. Toxic relationships can teach us valuable lessons about our worth, our limits, and our capacity for growth. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Powerful Stoic Way. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Remember, every challenge, no matter how difficult, is a stepping stone toward becoming a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Stay resilient, stay strong, and keep thriving.